All right, welcome everybody to the RS Sports Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Wednesday afternoon on our conference championship special. This weekend was the conference championship in the NFL. And now the Super Bowl is set, right? We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I went 0 for 2 on my NFL predictions, and now you see why I make my predictions week by week, especially in the playoffs, because then I wouldn't have anything to discuss going in. I will give you my Super Bowl pick on our Super Bowl edition of the RS Sports Podcast, which is a great segue into the next thing I want to talk about, which is a slight schedule change. I know I normally say that I film on Wednesdays and Fridays. It's going to be a bit different next week. This week, it's going to be Wednesday and Friday. Next week, I'm going to be filming Sunday and Friday. I'll be doing a show on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to try and get a few people on here to do sort of like a panel situation, a sort of pre-show that afternoon, either early afternoon or sometime right before the game. But I do want to get some coverage of the Super Bowl. You'll get my picks from the Super Bowl. You'll hopefully get some other people's picks if we can get them on the show. But yeah, it'll be great. It'll be the RS Sports Podcast Super Bowl Sunday edition. So you're going to want to check that out. It's going to be a good time. And hopefully I can get a few people on the show to help me out with that big day in the NFL. And you know what? Before we talk about the Super Bowl and Super Bowl Sunday, we got to talk about what happened in the conference championships. And there is a lot to talk about. So we're going to jump right in. 2 games this weekend. Obviously, the Bucs over the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs over the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to start on the NFC side and start with the Bucs and Green Bay. Let me give you the stats first, because I always like to do that before I go into the game. All right, so some big stats. Tom Brady threw for 280 yards. He had 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Leonard Fournette rushed for a touchdown. Mike Evans and Scotty Miller had touchdowns. And Sean Murphy-Bunting had an interception. For the Packers, Aaron Rodgers had 3 touchdowns and an interception. Marquez Valdes-Scantling caught a touchdown. Devontae Adams also caught a touchdown. Jair Alexander, 2 interceptions. And Adrian Amos, 1 interception. So, there is the stats from that game. And I want to show this because, yes, Landon Hammonds, guest on my show previous, you might remember him, did go 2-0 this week. If you remember our divisional round predictions, I picked the complete opposite of the teams that he picked, and Landon went 2-0. Landon, I don't know if you were here earlier, but that's why I said I pick week by week, just so if this happens and I would have predicted the Super Bowl and who won the Super Bowl, then I wouldn't really have anything to talk about. But back to this game. So the Packers did not lead once in this game. I think that's worth mentioning. The Buccaneers got out to a pretty good start, very good start. They started out a lot more hot than I thought they would. And Green Bay started to make a comeback in the second half. And then the fourth quarter happened. And the fourth quarter is really the big quarter that we need to break down here. Specifically, late in the fourth quarter. Now, there's a lot of speculation on who was in the wrong here, but I want to walk you through what happens, okay? The Packers are down 8 points. And I can't remember exactly what the score was. It might have been 31-23. Yes, it was 31-23. 31-23 was the score. It's about 3 minutes left. And the Packers have it first and goal. They miss. Second and goal. They miss. Third and goal. Now that's where I want to start. Third and goal. Rodgers rolls out of the pocket. He has about he has nothing but green in front of him. If he would have made the decision to run, he would have scored. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that Aaron Rodgers would have scored. Now, I don't know what happened. Maybe he didn't think he could run all that way to get a touchdown. Maybe he thought there was more pressure around him than there actually was. He threw it into double coverage to Devontae Adams. It's an incomplete pass. Now we go to fourth and goal. Now, in my opinion, the game is not in the hands of Aaron Rodgers anymore. The game is in the hands of Matt LaFleur. And it's up to Matt LaFleur to make the right decision. Now, let me point out to you that Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP this year. There is no doubt about it. Ask anybody in the league. There is no question. Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP this year. And what does Matt LaFleur do on 4th and goal at roughly the 12-yard line? He sends the field goal kicker out down by 8 with, at this point, probably 2.5 minutes left in the game. Maybe 3. If I'm being generous, I'll give him 3 minutes. I can't remember the exact time on the clock. But again, Matt LaFleur, instead of putting his trust in Aaron Rodgers, goes and sends the field goal unit out to kick a field goal instead of having Aaron Rodgers go for it on 4th down. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's one of the best. Matt LaFleur cost the Green Bay Packers that game. And, people can speculate. People can say, Aaron Rodgers cost them that game because Aaron Rodgers didn't run. No, the way I see it, that's an honest mistake, right? Aaron Rodgers didn't run. Let's move past that. If he would have ran, they would have scored. Great. Maybe Matt LaFleur isn't under as much heat as he is, but he didn't. So we got to move past that. Then it becomes Matt LaFleur's job to put trust in Aaron Rodgers, send him back on the field, and have Aaron Rodgers try to win the game for you. Because that's the right decision. Even if Aaron Rodgers misses, then it becomes on Aaron Rodgers. Then we can maybe say Aaron Rodgers choked in the big moment. But it is unfair to say that Aaron Rodgers choked because he wasn't given the opportunity to choke. I heard plenty of people say that Aaron Rodgers choked because he didn't run on 3rd and goal. And again, I say you got to move past that, right? He didn't run on 3rd and goal. He made the decision. He threw it into double coverage. It was a terrible pass. I will give you that, right? Aaron Rodgers made a bad decision on 3rd and goal. Then it becomes Matt LaFleur's decision, not Aaron Rodgers' decision. It becomes Matt LaFleur's decision to kick the field goal and not put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands. Aaron Rodgers did not choke in this game. Because he wasn't given the opportunity to choke. If he would have gone for it on 4th and goal and missed, that's a choke. Not missing it on 3rd and goal. Missing it on 3rd and goal is not a choke. The way I see it, if he would have went for it on 4th and goal and missed, which honestly I don't think he would have because I think Aaron Rodgers is clutch no matter what people say. I think, it's completely unfair to say that Aaron Rodgers choked because he didn't. This is all on Matt LaFleur. All on Matt LaFleur. I had somebody say to me too, well, Aaron Rodgers has got to be the one to stand up and say, I want to go back out there and try to go for it on 4th and goal. That's not Aaron Rodgers' job. That is not Aaron Rodgers' job. That is Matt LaFleur's job to make the right decision. Matt LaFleur said they thought they had 3 timeouts or 4 timeouts, including the 2-minute warning. But when you look across the field and you see a guy like Tom Brady in the playoffs, nonetheless, Tom Brady's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. And you are betting that Tom Brady cannot hold the ball for 2.5 minutes to win a football game, then you need to be fired. Matt LaFleur needs to be fired from the Green Bay Packers because he should have gone forward on 4th and goal. He cost the Green Bay Packers a trip to the Super Bowl, potentially, because we don't know what would happen on that 4th and goal. But more importantly, he took a chance that Tom Brady, who has 6 Super Bowl rings, he's beaten numerous teams in the playoffs. He's now going to his 10th Super Bowl. You're trusting that Tom Brady cannot hold on to the ball for 2.5 minutes. That's absurd. That is absurd to me. Matt LaFleur, bottom line, Matt LaFleur needs to be fired. And Aaron Rodgers didn't play a bad game. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdowns. Maybe they should have ran on one of those 1st and goal, 2nd and goal, or 3rd and goal. Maybe they should have because Aaron Rodgers threw it all 3 plays. But here we are talking about Matt LaFleur. And that was Matt LaFleur's decision as well. If Matt LaFleur calls for it on 4th and goal, sends Aaron Rodgers out there, we're not sitting here talking about Matt LaFleur right now. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Especially if Aaron Rodgers can't come up with it on 4th and goal. Because Aaron Rodgers would have thrown it a 4th time. I think we all know that. But we'll never know if he was going to convert or not because Matt LaFleur made the wrong decision. He made the wrong decision. Brady didn't really have a great game. Brady threw 3 interceptions. And granted, he threw 3 touchdowns. Fournette rushed for a touchdown. And, Mike Evans and Scotty Miller caught a touchdown, and Murphy Bunting had an interception. I think the Packers played a better game. And not only that, but another boneheaded decision from Matt LaFleur is that after kicking the field goal, they convert the field goal. He doesn't kick an onside kick. I thought for sure after they kicked the field goal that they would have gone for an onside kick. But they kick it off anyways. You have to at least try and get the ball back. The only reason I can see Matt LaFleur calling for the field goal at that point in the game would be to now only need a touchdown to win the game. But if you're going to do that, you need to go for an onside kick. You need to go for an onside kick. Tom Brady's going to his 10th Super Bowl. I think that's worth mentioning. That's what I want to move to now. Tom Brady, 10 Super Bowls. He could have his 7th ring. It's in Tampa Bay. It's at home. Again, I'm not going to reveal my pick for the Super Bowl until our Super Bowl Sunday show. But Tom Brady's going to his 7th Super Bowl. He defied the odds, went to a new coach, went to a new team, and proved me wrong. He proved a lot of people wrong. All season long, I said that the Buccaneers were an up-and-down team. All year long, I said that the Buccaneers were an up-and-down team. And here we are, and Tom Brady's going to his 10th Super Bowl. I had Landon on the show tell me last week. Landon said, don't count out Tom Brady in the playoffs. He said, don't do it. And he was right. Everybody that said do not count out Tom Brady in the playoffs was right. I thought it would be too much with Tom Brady with a new team, new coach. Having the up and down season that he had, I thought it was going to be too much. I didn't think Tom Brady was going to go to his 10th Super Bowl. But here we are. Tom Brady's in his 10th Super Bowl. You can never count out Tom Brady in the playoffs. You really can't. Guy's just amazing. He really is. And the Buccaneers, they pick up Gronkowski this offseason. They have Mike Evans. They have Scotty Miller, who's a decent wide receiver. Leonard Fournette. They had a lot of pickups. They had LaShawn McCoy, I believe. They picked him up in the offseason this year. Yeah, it's you can't count out Tom Brady in the playoffs. But again, hot take for me, I guess, but Matt LaFleur needs to be fired, in my opinion. Matt LaFleur doesn't deserve to be coaching the Green Bay Packers if he's going to make a decision like that. You have to send Aaron Rodgers back on the field. You have to. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. He doesn't have a great track record in the NFC Championship, but that doesn't matter. And 4th and goal in the NFC Championship, 2.5 minutes left. Tom Brady's on the other end of the sideline. You can put the game away on 4th and goal. But again, if he chooses to do that, we're not talking about Matt LaFleur right now. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers misses that. Even if he makes it, we're talking about how Aaron Rodgers came up in the clutch. But everywhere you look now, Matt LaFleur is under heat because Matt LaFleur made one of the worst decisions I think I've ever seen in a playoff game. Some of the worst play calling I've ever seen in a playoff game, let alone an NFL game. Matt LaFleur brought this team to 13-3 on the season. 13-3. They had a first-round bye in the playoffs. They were one of the best teams in the NFC. And now you decide to not go for it on 4th and down with one of the best players in the league? I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't. But, I ranted about Matt LaFleur for a good 10 minutes there. But seriously, in my opinion, Matt LaFleur needs to be fired. He really does. Moving on to the AFC Championship game. Kansas City over the Bills, 34-28. Kansas City had a 14-2 record this season. The Bills had a 13-3 record. Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns, 325 yards. Edwards-Helaire, 1 touchdown. Kelsey had 2 touchdowns. McCole Hardman had a touchdown. And Rashad Fenton had an interception. And for the Bills, Josh Allen threw for 287 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Not a great all-around game for the Bills. But again, you're playing one of the best teams in the league, in my opinion. And if that's not Patrick Mahomes at 100%, the Buccaneers are going to be in trouble in the Super Bowl. But again, I'm not making my pick yet. I want to see how everything shakes out. You'll get my pick on the Super Bowl Sunday show. Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, 325 yards. Mahomes is just amazing. He's one of the greatest players in the league, if not the greatest player in the league. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time, in my opinion. And he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time, in my opinion. I can already safely say that he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's had a great season. Not much more to say. This is his rookie year, and he's, playing very, very, very well. Travis Kelce, 2 touchdowns, one of the best tight ends in the league. And the Bills came up short, but the Bills had a really, really good season. I think the Bills are going to be contenders for a long time to come. But man, that Kansas City Chiefs team is just really, really, really tough. They have a lot of offensive weapons on that team, and their defense is great. Frank Clark, Chris Jones, that defensive line. I tell you what, that defensive line played an amazing game. They rushed Josh Allen in double digits amount of times. I can't even remember how many times they rushed Josh Allen in that game. It was just amazing to me how many times they actually rushed Josh Allen. Then, Josh Allen threw 2 touchdowns and an interception, but again, and especially for a guy like Stephon Diggs, it's kind of heartbreaking for a guy like Stephon Diggs because he came to Buffalo, he wanted to win a Super Bowl, and he was that close to winning a Super Bowl. Cole Beasley was playing on a partially broken leg. That was reported. But it's heartbreaking to see a team like the Buffalo Bills make it that far and not win. And I'm as unbiased as I can be. But when you see something as heartbreaking as that, man, Stephon Diggs stayed on the field to watch the celebration. But again, you got to give credit where credit's due. Kansas City Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league. I picked against the Kansas City Chiefs. I picked against Patrick Mahomes because I didn't think Patrick Mahomes was going to be 100%, and he wasn't 100%. But if that's not Patrick Mahomes at 100%, look out, because Mahomes just threw 3 touchdowns and played one of the best games I've seen all year. I really thought that this was going to be one of the games of the year, and it really didn't turn out to be. I think one of the games of the year actually this year was the Browns and the Ravens, if we're looking at games of the year. But this turned out to be sort of the Chiefs took hold of it early and, kind of got out. When they got out to that lead, they really didn't give it up. Bills in the fourth quarter started to come back a little bit, but ultimately 34-28 was the final. Then the Bills came within 1 score, actually, of the Chiefs. So late in the game, they started to try and rally. But ultimately, the Chiefs get to win. The Bucs get to win. I went 0 for 2. Landon went 2-0 this week on his NFL picks. And again, I don't want to reveal my Super Bowl pick until Super Bowl Sunday show. But that's what I have for you today. I knew this was going to be a little bit of a shorter show, only because we only had 2 games to discuss. I am getting prepared for the Super Bowl Sunday show. I really want to advertise that to you guys. It's going to be so much fun. Please tune into that. I'm trying to get a good panel to come on here and discuss the game, discuss some stories around the league, get a whole pre-show going. So please look out for that. And you're going to want to tune in on Super Bowl Sunday because it's going to be a really, really fun show right here on the RS Sports Podcast. If you follow all my social medias, you'll be able to find it. Instagram on RS Sports Podcast on Instagram. That's all lowercase. I have a TikTok account. I'll probably post something on there as well. Facebook, you can follow me there. And you just look out for it on your social medias. You'll be able to see the times and who's going to be on and everything once I get all that figured out. But Super Bowl Sunday, you're going to want to tune in to that pre-show. But that's what I have for you today. So thank you so much for tuning into the RS Sports Podcast. If you want to hear more podcasts just like this, go ahead and tune in every Friday. And again, tune in next Sunday for that Super Bowl show. But after that, it's going to be every Friday for the NBA show. And then I'll get ready for my MLB show that's coming up this spring for spring training and when the MLB season starts. But again, if you enjoy this podcast, you want to hear more just like it, go ahead and tune in every Friday right here on YouTube, Live, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you guys so much for the support. And we will see you on Friday for the NBA show. And then we will see you next Sunday Well, we'll actually see you 2 Fridays in a row, now that I think about it, for the NBA shows. And then we will see you that Sunday for the Super Bowl show. Stay tuned on my social media again for that. But again, thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the RS Sports Podcast. We'll see you next time.